Contact us to avail the combo offer of General Studies and Public Administration optional with 20% discount.
Hello everyone, welcome to Lukman IAS. In this series, we are discussing the previous year questions of UPSC prelims examination. And today we are going to take questions from Indian economy. And this is the session number 39 in the series, okay? So today we are going to talk about important questions from economy section, in which we are going to take a question from tax to GDP ratio. Then we will understand about interest rate in macroeconomic situations. Then we are going to understand about 5-year plans, and we will look into a question with reference to service area approach, okay? And at last we are going to take a question from public sector banks, okay? These topics are covered under the UPSC syllabus that says economic and social development, sustainable development, poverty, inclusion, demographics, social sector initiatives, etc. Okay. So with this, now let us move forward and take the first question for the day. Okay. So this question was asked by UPSC in the year of 2015. Okay, it was asked in 2015. Now let us read this question and then we will rate this question whether this question is easy, moderate or difficult. And we are also going to understand about some aspects related to this topic. Okay. So this question says, a decrease in tax to GDP ratio of a country indicates which of the following? Okay. Statement 1, slowing economic growth rate. Statement 2, less equitable distribution of national income. Select the correct answer using the codes given below. Okay. So here we need to understand one specific term, which is tax to GDP ratio. Okay. Tax to GDP ratio. Okay, so this is a ratio that we need to understand. So what is this tax to GDP ratio? Okay, so here we need to understand what is the usability, like why does government use a term known as tax to GDP ratio? Okay, basically this particular term tax to GDP ratio helps a government to estimate, right, how much was the tax collection, like what percentage of tax collection was a part of the GDP. For example, let's consider government tries to analyze that in the year of 2019 or financial year 2019 to 20, what was the tax to GDP ratio? It means like was the tax collection percent, 20% of the GDP. Okay. So let's consider like there is an economy where the government has different sources of tax revenue. Government receives money from people, from corporations, through different kind of taxations. And like what portion of that tax, okay, let's consider 20%, the total tax that was collected was 20% of the total GDP. Okay, so that's the usability, like government is able to estimate like what proportion of GDP are we receiving in the form of tax. Similarly, government uses this term to estimate from different year to year, like in the 2019 to 20 financial year or 2018 to 19 financial year, what was the total tax collection. Okay, so that's how the government is able to estimate like the tax collection is improving or it is decreasing. Okay, so this is a very important term when we talk about macroeconomic indicators. So this is one of the best macroeconomic indicators that are used by the government to assess like how much tax is being collected by the government from year on year. Okay, and so now if the tax to GDP ratio decreases, okay, so what does this indicate? Slowing economic growth rate means, it simply means like when tax collection is low. Okay, if this particular ratio, which is tax to GDP ratio, if it decreases, what it means? It means that the tax collection, overall tax collection is reducing. Okay, tax collection is reducing. How it may happen? If the economy is slowing down, okay, if the economic activity is reducing, so generally the tax to GDP ratio will come down. Why? Because income level of people are going down. Okay, businesses are not able to make huge profits, so profitability of different businesses has come down. So that's why tax to GDP ratio decreases. Okay, so here, so it it indicates that the economic growth rate has slowed. Okay, economic growth rate has slowed down. Now if we talk about the second statement, it says less equitable distribution of national income. Okay, so there is no direct correlation between tax to GDP ratio and national income, because tax is widely distributed, like government gets tax tax revenue from different sources of tax. One of the source of tax is corporation tax, then income tax, then indirect tax. We have different forms of direct tax also, various types of indirect taxes also. Okay, so there is no credible data that shows that a decrease in the tax to GDP ratio leads to less equitable distribution of national income. So that's why second statement is incorrect. Okay, if second statement is incorrect, correct answer for this question is option A. Okay, so with this, now let us take the next question for the day. Okay, so correct answer for that question is option A. Now let us take the question number 2. Okay, so this question was asked by UPSC in the year of 2014. Now let us read this question. It says, if the interest rate is decreased, okay, in an economy, it will. Okay, now what is happening? The government is saying that if the interest rate is decreased, okay, in an economy, how the interest rate can be decreased. For example, if we talk about Reserve Bank of India. The Reserve Bank of India is the central bank for India. Okay, it is the highest level bank in India. So Reserve Bank of India lends money to different banks, like corporate banks, or we can talk about scheduled commercial banks. Okay, they are also known as scheduled commercial banks. We can write down them as scheduled commercial banks. Okay, the Reserve Bank of India gives loan to the government of India. It gives loan to the state governments. Okay, so Reserve Bank of India gives loans to various kind of entities like commercial banks, government of India, state governments, etc. Okay, so if Reserve Bank of India, okay, so Reserve Bank of India also charges some interest rate from these entities on the loan that it gives. Okay, so if Reserve Bank of India decreases the interest rate, so what will happen? The commercial bank will find it easy to borrow money from the Reserve Bank of India. Similarly, Government of India will also find it easy to borrow from Reserve Bank of India, and state governments also will find it easy to borrow money from the Reserve Bank of India. So ultimately these money will be easily available to commercial banks, and commercial banks will be in a position to lend money to its customers. The customers of commercial banks can be corporate entities, like different factories, corporate entities. Even individuals also borrow money from the commercial banks. So what will happen if the interest rate is decreased? Okay, it will lead to the increase in the investment expenditure in the economy. Okay, how? Because people will be able to borrow more at a lesser rate easily, and they will after borrowing money they will easily invest some kind of activity. So it will lead to increase in the investment expenditure in the economy. So correct answer for this question is option C, and otherwise you can read other options. Okay, you will get to know that why other options are incorrect. It says decrease in the consumption expenditure. Okay, so consumption expenditure will not reduce, it will actually increase. Okay, when people have more money, they will spend more. So consumption expenditure will increase, it will not decrease. Okay, so that's why statement 1A is incorrect. If we talk about option B, it says increase in the tax collection of the government. Okay, so the thing is, there is no direct correlation between tax collection and interest rate. Okay, so it may lead to increase in tax collection, it may not lead to increase in tax collection. Okay, so that's why option B is also incorrect. If we talk about option D, it says increase in the total savings in the economy. Okay, so when we talk about total savings in the economy, there is no direct correlation. It may happen at a longer time duration. Okay, so the most appropriate answer for this question is option C. If I have to rate this question as easy, moderate or difficult, I would say this is a moderate level question. It can be considered as easy also, but it is moderate level of question, because you have to apply your brain to understand what can be the effect of reducing the interest rate in an economy. So with this, now let us take another question. This is question number 3 for the day. Okay. So this question was asked by UPSC in the year of 2010. So like it's been a decade now that UPSC has asked this question. Now let us read this question. It says, in the context of India's 5-year plans, a shift in the pattern of industrialization with lower emphasis on heavy industries and more infrastructure begins in. Okay. So here, like this particular question talks about the objectives. Okay, it talks about the objectives of a particular 5-year plan. Okay, objective of a particular 5-year plan. Okay, so that's why here it is very important for us to understand different 5-year plans. You must remember that the government of India has stopped the practice of coming up with 5-year plans after the 12th 5-year plan. Okay, after the 12th 5-year plan, the government has stopped the practice of coming up with 12th 5-year plan. Okay, so now we no longer has any have any 5-year plans, but like this practice of 5-year plan continued from first 5-year plan to 12th 5-year plan. Okay, 5-year plan means once every 5 years the government makes a plan for the next 5 year. Okay, so it continued for the for 12 up to 12th 5-year plan. And so here over here this question is asked, a shift in the pattern of industrialization with lower emphasis on heavy industries and more on infrastructure began with which particular 5-year plan? It has happened with the 6th 5-year plan. Okay, now you may say like this is a very difficult question, like we cannot remember in which 5-year plan what has happened. I'll tell you one simple thing, one simple trick, that like you should download a comprehensive detail about all the 5-year plans. Okay, 5-year plans and their objectives. Okay, the time period, their objective. Since the 5-year plans as a practice has been reduced, so now you just need to understand in which year a particular 5-year plan has been launched, what was its objective, how much of the objective was achieved, what was the success rate of a particular 5-year plan. You can make a comprehensive 2-3 pages document where you can write down this in short about these 5-year plans. It will help you to answer such questions if it is asked in near future. Okay, UPSC generally asks such questions. Okay, so you don't have to go through in-depth study about 5-year plans, but like you should remember which 5-year plan was launched in which year, for how long it continued. Okay, what was the disruption in a particular 5-year plan, and like what was the objective, how much of the objective was achieved. Okay, these are the things that you should look into. Okay, so answer for this question is option B. Okay, so with this, now let us take another question for the day. Okay, this question was asked by UPSC in the year of 2019. When? 2019. Now let us read this question. It says, the service area approach. The service area approach was implemented under the purview of A. Integrated Rural Development Program, Lead Bank Scheme, C. Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, and D. National Skill Development Mission. Okay, so here we need to understand that the service area approach was implemented by was implemented under the purview of the Lead Bank Scheme. Okay, so what is Lead Bank Scheme? We need to understand what is Lead Bank Scheme. See, Lead Bank Scheme was introduced by the Government of India in 1969. When? In the year of 1969. Okay, Lead Bank Scheme was introduced in the 1969. So under the Lead Bank Scheme, a particular scheduled commercial bank, okay, a particular bank was given the task to lead a particular district, okay, a particular area. Okay, so that particular area will have, okay, around 20 to 25 villages in it. Okay, and So that particular lead bank was given the task that like you have to provide all the financial services and all the financial services to meet the requirement of these these areas that are under the purview of a particular lead bank. Okay, so this lead bank scheme was one of the most successful scheme. It is still under implementation, but in the year of 1989, okay, after 20 years of time period, they have introduced a concept which is known as service area approach. Okay, under service area, every bank was mandated with a task to look after, to serve a particular area, and that particular area comprised of 20 to 25 villages. Okay, so service area approach was a part of the lead bank scheme itself, which was introduced in the year of 1969. Okay, so lead bank means a bank that has to cater to the services of financial needs of a particular area. That area is generally considered as a district, but in that district there should be at least 20 to 25 villages. Okay, so for designated banks in a particular scheduled commercial bank, they are mandated to provide loan services, banking account services and other services, so that financial services can be provided in these areas. Okay, so that was question number 4. Correct answer is option B, and this question is easy provided that you know the thing. If you don't know the factual information about it, you may not be able to answer this question. It requires you to have factual remembering also, like you need to read it, you need to retain the information, only then you will be able to answer this question. Okay, so with this, now let us take another question. This question was asked by UPSC in the year of 2019. Okay, so let us read this question. It says the chairman of public sector banks are selected by the, options are Bank Boards Bureau, Reserve Bank of India, Union Ministry of Finance and the management of concerned bank. Okay, so this is a very factual question. If you have read about different banking related things, like like various banks were in news because of multiple reasons. Okay, like if I talk about Punjab National Bank, it was in news because of a scam that has happened. Okay, and the chairman of the bank was also in news, Chanda Kochar. Okay, so now here we need to understand that how the chairman of a bank is appointed, okay, or selected. The chairman of a bank is selected by the bank's board bureau. Okay, so bank board bureau is a is a body of expert members. Okay, it is a body of expert members that comprises of 7 members. Okay, out of these 7 members, 3 members, okay, 3 members are actually experts from the same field. Okay, and there will be a chairman and there will be other 3 experts. Okay, so this is a body where the members of this bank's board bureau, all these members are non-permanent members. Okay, these members are non-permanent members. Okay, so they are selected for a particular purpose, and so they recommend people to be selected as the chairman of a particular bank. Okay, so chairman of public sector banks are selected by the Bank Boards Bureau. Okay, so this is a factual information, but it has current affair related connotation. It was asked in the year of 2019. Okay, so this is a very easy question. Okay, this question is easy. So with this, we have covered all the 5 questions for the day. If you have any questions, you can type it in the comment box under the YouTube channel. Thank you so much everyone for attending this session. I hope you have a good day ahead. Thank you.
Contact us to avail the combo offer of General Studies and Public Administration optional with 20% discount.